All right, I'm sitting here with Kim. How are you doing, Kim?
I'm okay.
You just want to give me a little, history about where you're from, how old you are, stuff like that.
53,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm from Trevos, which is in Bensalem, PA,
Mm-hmm.
right outside of Philadelphia.
Yep.
My aunt actually lived down here. She just passed away a year in February. I was recently taking care of her, and then lived down on the streets. And January, I got into the shelter in Beacon Shelter.
Oh, okay. Are you still in there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's got to be so much better being in there.
It is. It is.
I heard
everybody I run into is like, "Oh my God, you look so great. You look so good." Well, yeah, because they're feeding me 3 times a day. I have a bed to sleep in. I'm not sleeping on concrete. And
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about gunshots and fires and getting robbed.
Feel a little bit more human.
Yeah.
You know,
back to normal.
Getting at least place to stay. How long did it take you to get the spot there?
I signed up the end of August, and I got in there the second week of January. So August,
Okay, so
September,
about
October,
5 months.
November, December,
Well,
yeah, 5 months really.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not. I mean, that sucks to wait that long. But
Yeah.
it's not. So what's wrong with your arm here?
This is an abscess from
Okay.
skin popping.
That's just from skin popping. Now you want to
Due to this.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
This
Holy
is-
crap.
Yes.
Hmm.
This I ended up shooting right in here,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up hitting an artery. So when you hit an artery, it goes away from the heart. The
Yeah.
vein takes it to the heart,
Right.
and I think I had the tourniquet too tight because I always push a couple units to make sure I'm not.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I pulled the tourniquet off that I felt the burn all the way down. And
Wow. Let me see that again.
the hospital even said that the damage was done. I could have gone in right after it happened, and
Wow.
there was nothing they could have done.
So
for
what are
me.
you waiting on now? Just to.
I went there. I've been there 3 times, and they said they were infected, and kept putting me on antibiotics. So we just called on Thursday of last week, and we did the video chat. And the surgeon actually looked at him and said it could be an outpatient surgery. So
Just to have them removed real quick.
correct,
Right, because they're so they're degraded bad.
right. And they're sore. They're very sore.
It's
'cause
gotta hurt.
They're pressing against the good part of my finger,
Yeah.
and that's what's.
So how long have you been dealing with that for?
It happened in October.
Just this year or last year? Wow.
Yeah, October of last year. So you figure October, November, December. Yeah, so almost like 7 months.
Man, I'm so
And it
sorry you
hurts.
got to deal with that.
I know, and it's a xylazine. I have another girlfriend that's going to veterinarian school, and she said it's basically the same lines as if you have to have a nursing degree to become a veterinarian, and basically it's like a rubber band. Like they could have probably saved them a little bit longer, but they would eventually have died out anyway.
Yeah.
So.
It's so wild. And people are going to look at that and be like, why the hell are you still getting high?
Well,
They
you know
don't
what?
understand addiction, though.
They think it's frostbite.
Yeah.
Majority of everybody really thinks it's frostbite. So,
Well, I mean, it's
it's on the same lines as frostbite, basically.
yeah.
But no,
Just
it's not
losing the
frostbite.
circulation there. and
Right.
it's just-
What happened was wintertime came so quickly when this did happen, and the cold is really what triggered it
yeah.
to die down so much quicker. Like I have another friend. It's been about 2 weeks that he did the same exact thing, but his is his thumb, his pointer, and his middle.
Yeah.
Same exact thing that's happened with mine is happening to his. And I told him, I said, just bear with it because you're going to lose them anyway. So
I always say it's so unfair for people that get high nowadays compared to, like, even when I was 10 years ago.
right.
It is so much more.
It's crazy because, and I went to a methadone clinic and they took a urine sample. And in my urine sample, I had fentanyl, xylazine, I had K2, I had tramadol, I had cocaine, methamphetamine, and 2 other things I had.
PHP? Was that in there?
That could have been
That's
one
a
of
day
them.
rape
And
drug.
another one was not ketamine, but the other one, crocodile.
Oh,
I had
wow.
crocodile. All that was in one bag of dope.
Wow.
All that. Yeah, because when
Wow.
when I usually find something I like, I stick with what I like.
Sure.
I don't go out and get 7 different
Yeah,
bags.
absolutely.
I just
You almost have to. It's dangerous,
Today
this
you do,
stuff.
right?
Yeah, wow.
But I don't like getting to the point, when people are like, their eyes are closed and they just kind of stand around and stumble, and
Yeah.
I hate that. I
Yeah.
really do.
Well,
Yeah.
is that more just a xylazine knocking people
It
out?
is, yeah. So
So
a lot of times, if you overdose and they hit you with Narcan, the Narcan will help with the fentanyl,
yeah,
but you won't wake up until the tranquilizer kind of wears off, and
Wow.
the EMTs will just Narcan you again and again
Yeah.
because they don't realize it. They don't understand why aren't you waking up? Well, you're
Yeah.
not waking up because the tranquilizers was what's keeping you under.
Now
And,
let me ask you a question. Now you've been getting high long enough where you were with the real heroin.
Yeah, actually, I didn't do my first line of heroin until I was 26 years old.
Okay.
And the reason I did it was my best friend died of an accidental overdose, and I wanted to see what was so, great about the drug. At the time, when I was 18, I was in a very, very bad car accident. So my neck and my right shoulder had permanent damage in it. So I was already on a lot of medication. And a friend of mine was at my house, and he dipped out. And I went in his wallet, and I took his bag, and I just put a little bit out, and I snorted it. And it was the first time in a long, long time I had become pain-free.
Wow. Yeah.
And it lasted for like 6 to 8 hours. I was shocked.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's basically what got me started on it.
Yeah, once
know?
it's a great feeling. I don't know how to else to explain. I still
It
tell
is,
people it's
yeah.
the best feeling I've ever felt in my life.
But this fentanyl, I don't get fentanyl. I've been on fentanyl patches. It's the long-lasting
Yeah.
drug. So for you to be shooting it and then fall out and then wake back up and do it all over again, that's pretty much people's lives.
Yeah.
And it's like, how could you live like that?
It just doesn't
You're
seem
missing
like
out on so much.
it doesn't seem like you guys aren't even enjoying it if you're just shooting up and then bop, bop.
Right, and then you're sleeping all day.
And then you
you
wake
wake
up
up
and
and
you're
do
sick.
the same exact thing again.
Yeah.
I like to enjoy my day. When I fall out, I don't like falling out. I
Yeah.
hate it because, like I said, that's when you get robbed and you miss the whole day. Like, I'm going to live for my days. I'm getting older now, and,
Yeah.
I don't, I never liked that kind of feeling unless I was home in my own environment where I knew I was going to be safe. So,
Yeah. It's also living on the streets. It's scary to fall asleep out here, man. Especially doubly as a woman
well,
here.
I'm telling you, a friend of mine 2 days ago, he was coming to meet me. He got off at Kensington Allegheny. He said there was about 6 young kids that were viciously beating up on the drug addicts that were,
Dude, the
dipped
kids in the
out,
neighborhood are
and they
so
were-
scary.
They were beating them with bats. He said pipes. They were bludgeoning them, and then robbing them. And my friend said, "Why are you doing this? The guy's homeless."
Yeah. No,
But they do it for their own amusement.
yeah.
That
People always
scares me to
ask.
death.
People ask me if I'm scared down here. I said I'm only scared around large groups of teenagers
Right,
that are
right.
down here, that live down here.
True.
That's
And you know what? Now that I've been in the shelter for a while, I don't even come out after dark.
right.
I'm,
Well,
like,
there's no need
definitely
to,
afraid
man.
to, right,
Yeah. Why
right.
would you? Especially if you got all the stuff you need for the day.
Right. I mean, it'd be stupid not to get what you need for the nighttime, so you don't have to go out till
Now,
the
how
next
is
morning.
how is Beacon set up? Is it your own room?
No.
So it's like an
Beacon,
open.
right? Beacon is part of a hospital area. There's like a church, and then there's a preschool, and then there's a building.
Okay.
And it's got 4 floors. The bottom floor is all administration, and then the very first floor is co-ed, which is my floor. There's men and women.
So can you real
and
quick?
it's-
Can you choose? Say I don't want to be co-ed, or is it wherever?
Well, they'll put you where the
Where
like the
room?
first one's co-ed, the second one's all women, and the third one's all men.
Okay.
So if you don't like being on the co-ed floor, you can go right to either the men's or the women's.
I just think if
Or
sometimes
then
if women are scared of men or something, if they can go
Yeah.
up to the I don't
I love it, honestly.
Now, do they
it's a
feed
big
you there,
floor.
too?
It's a big, huge floor. You have a bed and a locker, a locker, and there's 20 people to a floor. You have 2 bathrooms, 2 shower rooms, and a big laundry room.
Okay.
And then you have a supervisor that's on the floor at all times.
Okay.
They do feed you 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Wow.
and there is no curfew.
So that's
I think-
important,
right?
Yeah, because shelters that don't let you leave, a lot of people won't go there because they'll get sick throughout the night.
Right.
Especially with the withdrawal kicking in so fast with the fentanyl and stuff now.
True, that's true. And a lot of times, people they'll go in at 4 o'clock, or like dinner time's from 6 to 8. So if they go in between dinner time and they still have to go out, sometimes they'll nod out and they won't wake up till 10, 11 o'clock, and they still have to make a run to
Yeah.
make sure they can make it till the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be stupid down here because you fall asleep for a second and your stuff's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just really crazy. But everybody on my floor, we help each other out. So therefore it cuts out a lot of stealing, because people
Sure.
are only stealing so they can get well,
Yeah.
or get high.
Yeah.
So if you help them out, when they need it, then there's no reason for them to have to steal.
Right.
You
Now,
know?
I forgot if you said, how long have you been homeless for? Like,
I was with my aunt for a year and a half.
oh, that's right. You said you were
Right,
taking
and then
care
she
of her.
passed away.
Right,
So
right,
I was
right.
out. I was actually out for about 2 years, out
Okay.
on the streets for about 2 years.
Okay.
And then last August
That's when you
is
got
when I signed up to get into the shelter, and I didn't get in until the middle of January. Because at the end of the summer, everybody's trying to get in because wintertime's
Yeah.
coming and nobody wants to be out.
Right.
So it
That's
was
like I
real
always
difficult.
say the rehab beds fill up.
Right,
once
but
it
as soon
gets
as you
cold.
do, as soon as you get into the shelter, they get you right into the housing. They sign you up, they get
Yeah.
your voucher, and then they find you a place so
Yeah.
you can go out and live and
Yeah.
bring more people into the shelter. So
Well,
it's pretty cool. And
I
then,
always said if they're not going to lock you guys up for getting high, they need to give you housing. You know?
it's true. It
Now,
really is.
do you have any urge to get clean now? Or are you okay with your run where you're at?
I do about I do about maybe 4 to 6 bags a day.
Mhm.
And like I said, I don't do it to be high. I do it so that I feel well. I feel
Right.
because if I wasn't doing this, then I would be back to a pain management doctor and be back on a lot of medication.
Mhm.
And I didn't want that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't like being that high. I still want to be, free in my mind and knowing what I'm doing and where I'm going and,
Yeah.
and make my own decisions, and not have to be a follower,
Right, right.
just
Yeah,
because
no, I get
people are,
that.
oh, we're going to go do this. Oh, okay, I'm just going to tag along, because people don't think.
Yeah.
I always want my mind to be clear enough so I can think about what I'm doing before I'm about to do it.
Yeah.
You
So,
know?
what are the next steps with your hand? What?
Okay, so we called the surgeon last Thursday and we had the video chat.
Mhm.
And I was told when I was at the hospital, which was in February, I believe, they wanted me to, they told me I would be probably there for 3 days. I would probably go in, they would prep me, bring me in for the surgery, and then keep me another day after the surgery.
Okay.
But now he's telling me that he said he thinks it could just be an outpatient procedure.
Because they're so easy to come off now.
Yeah, because now it's been since October.
Right.
There's no life left in them at all. Although I feel it, but they say it's called a phantom pain.
Phantom pains. You know what's funny? My friend is missing his leg from the knee down
Wow.
from a motorcycle accident, and he always talks about he can feel his foot itching.
Isn't that weird?
So weird.
I do. I feel like in the tips of my fingers, I feel like electricity,
Wow.
And they say to do the other hand, scratch the other hand as to where, and it doesn't work.
Right.
It
But you
doesn't
definitely
matter.
feel the tips of your fingers still.
Yeah,
That's so wild.
it
It's
is
phantom
weird.
pain. That's what they call
That's
it.
what- yeah.
It is weird.
So how true that is, I don't know, but I do feel like because I was having a hard time coming to terms knowing that I was having to get them cut off.
Yeah.
And that's what really bothered me. So for the first 2 months, I was absolutely positively no,
Right.
I'm not doing it. And then at the end of January, I finally came to terms with, the pain was too extreme. I needed to
Yeah.
get them off. And now it's to the point where, matter of fact, it was about probably a week and a half ago. I don't know what I did or what happened, but I had a lot of pain in my hand, and just in general, and it actually brought tears to my eyes.
Wow,
That's
so
how
yeah.
painful it was.
So you knew it was getting
So,
time to finally get it
yeah.
done. Well, at least
Yeah.
you're at the point now where you realize it's it's go time and
Right.
get it done.
And I do a lot with it, but this pointer here is
Ooh.
ready to fall
Yeah.
off. This is these
I'm
here.
having-
See how these aren't
Yeah.
as loose as this one
That
here
one.
is? Yeah. I'm afraid I'm going to put it in my sleeve or pull it out of my sleeve, and it's just going to
Well,
come off.
I have a girl sent me a picture of one that was like the this one, and it fell off getting out of bed.
Wow.
Yeah, it fell
See,
off.
I'm just afraid because I know the bone's still in there too,
Yeah.
and I'm weary.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen if it does get caught and comes off? Is it gonna the bone just gonna stick out?
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I think of all kinds of crazy thoughts, and I think that's what bothers me more.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's our own mind getting us more scared than we need to be. That's normally how it
Exactly.
works. All right, well, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Thank you.
You know my car now and my face, and if you ever need stuff, just scream for me and not
I
pull
will.
over. I like keeping up with people and doing more than one interview to see how you guys are going.
That's
Getting
great.
along.
Yeah, and if you ever feel like it, just come down to Beacon.
Okay.
If you want, if you wanted more information or you want to,
Yeah.
people down there are pretty friendly and are pretty nice and outgoing. So.
Awesome.
You know.
I've heard nothing but good things about Beacon. I
Yeah.
really have.
I never knew until I got in there that Prevention Point actually owns Beacon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Prevention Point and Beacon. That's why when someone told me, well, in order to get into Beacon, you have to find somebody from Prevention Point and sign up with them. And you know, I mean, I know everybody over there from being out on the streets for so long, and you know, everybody knows my face, and you know, whenever they need something, they always, you know, will ask me first.
Sure.
And
that's good to know that.
Yeah.
So now I can tell people to go to a Prevention Point to sign up.
Exactly.
For it. Wow,
and just get a caseworker or just someone there in general.
And you said they are helping with housing as soon as you're in.
As soon as second week I was in there, she brought me down. She got all my information out, and she started. Like, I didn't have my license, I didn't have my social security card, because my pocketbook was stolen 3 times or more.
Yeah.
But, you know, you need all those, you know, cards, and they will do all that.
Yeah.
They do everything that you need just to get you into housing. But we get, we have about 4 people on my floor now, all in wheelchairs, and they're the ones that will get moved first.
Yeah. It's crazy how many people are in wheelchairs down here, man.
It's a lot.
It's
really,
and with the trank, it's just making it that much worse.
The majority of them are falling off the platform. Right onto the, and that's how they're losing their limbs. It's like, wow, you know, I'm scared to death up there. So
yeah. Oh, up on the L, you're talking about?
Yeah, on the L, like they fall off the platform into the tracks, and either they get electrocuted or, you know,
or just from nodding out up there, whatever.
Yeah,
wow, that's scary, man.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Like 4 of them, I know that 2 already left, and the 2 that are still there, they all lost their limbs from falling off the platform.
Wow.
You know,
I didn't even think about that. That wouldn't even cross my mind.
Well, what happens is they'll, if it gets all banged up and bruised, and then they're still using, you know, the dope with the trank in it, the trank keeps it from, you know, healing and it gets worse.
Vasoconstrictor.
Right?
Yep.
It just makes it worse, and then that's eventually how it
So
gets
it probably
on.
could have been saved, or a possibility, but the drug use just made it
worse. And a lot of times you have to go in the hospital and have it done intravenously.
Yeah.
The antibiotics, like you need heavy duty antibiotics.
Sure,
absolutely. Pick that, and a lot of people don't want to do it because they don't want to be away from the drugs.
Yeah.
You know?
Another friend of mine, Dom, she's down in Clearfield all the time. She just had a 30-minute seizure during an overdose.
Wow.
She just made from the hospital about an hour ago. I just got the
wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll be down here.
She's not a blonde, is she? She's blonde with pink in her hair?
No.
Because I know Dominique.
This girl already had endocarditis twice, had her fingers, you know.
Okay.
It's a mess, but.
Well, yeah, see, it's crazy, man. And people will deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, this one kid, he's got gangrene already going through his leg, and he's still every day just wakes up and goes about his day. It's like, why won't you go to the hospital? And
well, that's what I tell people. I said, just
like,
get the sores fixed so you can keep getting high.
Right.
If that's what you want to do, you got to be alive to get high, though.
True.
You
True.
know?
A lot of people will stop shooting it, they'll start smoking it or snorting it again. Or
well, the girl I just interviewed over here, she stopped shooting up a year and a half ago just to smoke it, and her sores on her legs are still horrible.
They are, because regardless, it still gets to your bloodstream.
Right. So it's not working.
It's true. Yeah.
All right. Thanks again. I really appreciate
welcome.
you doing this.
No
All
problem.
Right, have a good day.
You too.